Dopamine is popularly called the pleasure chemical, but the actual neuroscience tells a stranger and more important story. Dopamine drives wanting, not liking. This distinction explains why people addicted to drugs, gambling, or food can crave something intensely while barely enjoying it anymore, and why understanding this gap is central to modern addiction treatment. The mesolimbic dopamine pathway, the brain's primary reward circuit, originates in the ventral tegmental area in the midbrain and projects dopamine-releasing neurons to the nucleus accumbens, a key reward processing structure, as well as to the prefrontal cortex, amygdala, and hippocampus. This pathway is activated by naturally rewarding stimuli, food, water, sex, and social interaction, reinforcing behaviors essential to survival and reproduction. Nearly every substance and behavior with addictive potential, from cocaine to gambling, exerts its effects by hijacking this same ancient circuit. Wolfram Schultz's landmark primate research revealed that dopamine neurons do not simply fire in response to reward itself. They fire in response to reward prediction error, the difference between an expected and an actual reward. An unexpected reward produces a strong dopamine burst. A fully expected reward produces little dopamine response at all, and an expected reward that fails to occur produces a dip below baseline firing. This prediction error signal functions as a teaching signal, driving the brain to update its expectations and learn which cues predict future rewards. Kent Berridge's incentive salience theory distinguishes two separable components of reward that are commonly conflated. Wanting refers to the motivational pull toward a reward, craving, anticipation, and drive, which is primarily driven by dopamine in the mesolimbic pathway. Liking refers to the actual hedonic pleasure experienced when a reward is obtained, which is driven by a separate opioid and endocannabinoid system in specific hedonic hotspots in the nucleus accumbens and brainstem. Blocking dopamine reduces wanting without eliminating liking. Blocking opioid receptors reduces liking without eliminating wanting. Berridge's incentive sensitization theory of addiction explains a puzzling clinical observation. Chronic drug users often report diminishing pleasure from a drug over time, tolerance, while their craving and compulsion to seek the drug intensifies. Repeated drug use sensitizes the dopamine wanting system, making the person increasingly responsive to drug-related cues, while the opioid liking system either stays flat or actually declines through tolerance. This explains why addicted individuals continue seeking a drug they no longer particularly enjoy. Their wanting system has become pathologically sensitized independent of their diminished liking. Because the dopamine wanting system learns to attach powerful incentive salience to cues associated with reward, environmental cues previously paired with drug use, specific locations, people, paraphernalia, or even emotional states, can trigger intense craving long after a person has stopped using. This cue reactivity is one of the primary drivers of relapse, since it can occur automatically and powerfully even in individuals who are highly motivated to remain abstinent. Cue exposure therapy attempts to weaken these learned cue drug associations through repeated, safe exposure without the drug present. The mesolimbic dopamine pathway is not exclusively an addiction circuit. It underlies all goal-directed motivation, including everyday behaviors like eating, socializing, and pursuing achievement. Modern technologies, including social media and video games, are deliberately designed using variable reward schedules, unpredictable likes, notifications, and in-game rewards that exploit the same dopamine prediction error mechanism that makes slot machines and drugs compelling. Understanding this shared neurobiology explains why behavioral addictions like gambling and problematic technology use share so much in common with substance addiction. The dopamine reward pathway is not simply a pleasure center. It is a sophisticated prediction and motivation system that, when hijacked by drugs or exploitatively designed technologies, can drive compulsive wanting that outlasts and outpaces genuine enjoyment. Understanding wanting and liking as separable systems reshapes both how we understand addiction and how we design healthier relationships with everyday rewards.